Oh bother, someone's jealous. I love spring, said Piglet one morning as he walked through the 100-acre wood with his friends. It's so breezy and so buzzy, said Winnie the Pooh as a bee flew over his head. I love spring because it's so bouncy, said Tigger. It's a perfect time of year for hill bouncing, and that's what Tiggers do best. What's hill bouncing? Asked Roo. It's easy, said Tigger. You just try to get to the top of the hill in as few bounces as possible, like this. Boing, 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 boing. Tigger was at the top of the hill in only 6 bounces. I told you it was easy, he called down to the others. Your turn, Pooh. It took Pooh much longer than Tigger to reach the top. When he finally made it, Pooh asked, How many bounces did I bounce? 14, I think. Maybe 15, said Tigger. I forgot how many when he stopped to eat the honey. Oh, bother, said Pooh. Well, I had fun anyway. Piglet went next, but he bounced out of sight on his 3rd bounce and landed deep in a bank of wildflowers. Pooh rushed down the hill to see if his friend was all right. Piglet was a little shaken. Hill bouncing is for those who are braver than piglets, he said, crawling out of the flowers. I'll just watch the rest of you bounce. My turn, shouted Roo, jumping up and down excitedly. Since Roo was the youngest, everybody gave him advice. Pooh held out his honey jar and said, Have some honey, Roo. It will give you energy. Watch out for wildflowers, Piglet suggested. Just bounce the way I did, said Tigger, who had come back down the hill to help Roo. You'll be Tiggerific. Tigger counted as Roo bounced up the hill. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, he said. Tigger stopped counting when Roo reached the top. Only 4 bounces? It can't be right. It took me 6 bounces. Tigger was sure he had counted wrong. To double check, he and Roo decided to bounce up the hill again. Boing, 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 boing. This time Tigger was only on his 6th bounce when he heard Roo behind him. Here I come, Roo shouted. In just 4 quick bounces, Roo reached the top of the hill. Standing at the top with Roo, Tigger didn't feel very bouncy. I've got better things to do than bounce up a stupid hill all day, he said, and with that he turned and walked away from Roo. Pooh and Piglet rushed up the hill to see why Tigger was leaving. Do you think he's mad at me? Asked Roo. Oh no, Roo, said Piglet, but I think he may be jealous of you. Oh bother, said Pooh as he reached into his honey drop pot. I think it's time for a little something. A little later, Owl was flying over the 100-acre wood when he spotted Tigger down by the stream. Owl landed nearby. Greetings, Tigger, he said. I have a message from our friends. They're waiting for you so they can do more hill bouncing. Tiggers hate hill bouncing, said Tigger, especially when they're not the best bouncers. Maybe you just need a little practice, Owl suggested. I could help. That's a great idea, said Tigger. So Owl coached from the air while Tigger practiced bouncing all around the 100-acre wood. Boing, boing, Tigger splashed across the stream, and he bounced through Rabbit's garden. Then he bounded into Eeyore's favorite thistle patch. Eeyore, why don't you practice bouncing with Tigger? Owl suggested. I don't bounce very well, said Eeyore. When I bounce my front half, my back half wobbles, and when I bounce my back half, my front half collapses, like this. After watching Eeyore wobble and collapse, Tigger and Owl agreed that bouncing was not a good idea for Eeyore. Tigger went on bouncing and bouncing. Finally, he was hot and tired and all bounced out. You need to rest a little, Owl suggested with a yawn. I think I'll go home and take a nap too. Tiggers aren't built for hill bouncing the way Roos are, said Tigger unhappily. But thanks for your help, Owl. Meanwhile, Christopher Robin arrived at the hill and found Pooh and Roo and Piglet just sitting and moping. What's wrong? Asked Christopher Robin. Hill bouncing is more fun when Tigger is around, Pooh explained. But he won't bounce with us anymore, said Roo sadly. Christopher Robin thought for a second, then said, Come on, Pooh, let's go find him. Christopher Robin and Pooh wandered through the 100-acre wood until they found Tigger taking a little nap under a huge tree. We'd really like you to come back and hill bounce with us, said Christopher Robin. What happened to Roo? Asked Tigger. He's the only one you need for hill bouncing. Tigger, you're not jealous of Roo, are you? Asked Christopher Robin. Tigger looked embarrassed. Well, Tiggers don't like being second best at bouncing. It can make them jealous, he said. You don't have to be the best hill bouncer, said Christopher Robin, giving Tigger a friendly pat on the back. We like you, no matter what. That's right, Pooh agreed. Why don't you come back with us? Everything is more fun when you're there. It is, said Tigger, looking bouncy again. Well, maybe I won't bother feeling jealous anymore. Being jealous is not a Tiggerific feeling. Roo and Piglet cheered when Tigger and the others returned. "I'm ready to try it again," Tigger announced. Boing, 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 boing. Tigger bounced up the hill in 5 bounces. "That was better than the last time," he shouted. It still took Roo only 4 bounces to get to the top, but Tigger didn't seem to mind. "Congratulations, Roo," Tigger said. "I think bouncing up to hills is what Roos do best." Roo felt very proud. Christopher Robin and the others climbed the hill to congratulate Roo, but Christopher Robin suddenly shook his head and said, "We still have a problem." "We do?" said Tigger. "Bouncing up the hill is great, but going down the hill isn't as much fun," said Christopher Robin explained. Tigger began bouncing up and down. "That's no problem at all," he said excitedly. "I'll teach you how to slide. Sliding down hills is what Tiggers really do best." Tigger gathered some giant leaves and showed everyone how to slide down the hill. Soon the giggling band of friends followed Tigger and landed in a happy heap at the bottom. "Oh my, you are good at hill sliding," said Pooh. "And you're good at being my friends," Tigger replied with a smile. "And friends are what Tiggers like best."